Guys, when it comes to prepping, one of the big things is just the amount of gear and the amount of items that you need. I mean, let's face it, we live in a very convenient world with services and everything that are taking care of us. Yes, it takes a lot of tax dollars, but you know, we have the conveniences. When you start to prep or you start to homestead, you start to look at things that you need in an emergency, whether it's environmental, man-made, economic, you know, if the grid goes down, zombie apocalypse. I mean, there's a lot of different things that people are motivated to get organized and to buy more gear. Organization is one of the toughest things. So we took one of the buildings that we have for storage, and we've had it for a long time, and we just cleaned it out, redid the whole inside, and I'm moving into it. It's going to be a better place for us to do video. And you know, that's one of the things that got me started on this, about organization, getting things organized, getting them in one spot, getting them, you know, this is for medical, this is fire, this is, you know, survival, EDC. There's so many different categories. And while I was going through all this gear, I just thought, you know, I want to show you guys some things because, again, it is hard to get organized, and I think that's one of the biggest things. You'll feel much better if you get organized. Now, I'm a huge fan of tool rolls, and I'm going to show you why. But I have backpacks, I have regular pouches, different things, but tool rolls have a special place. And one of the biggest things is you just roll it out and everything's right there. I was putting together a couple of tool roll setups, one for fire, one for EDC, or just basic survival EDC, just my gear in one place. And I just thought I would bring you guys along because these are pretty cool. They're new from Roaring Fire Gear. They've got the wax finish on them, you know, to keep them somewhat waterproof, watertight, to keep your gear protected. But they're handy, and honestly, I just like the way this feels. I mean, it's got this really solid little feel to it, and it packs easy in a pack, or you can put it, you know, in your vehicle. You can put it wherever you want to. Having tool rolls to me is one of the big things. In fact, I guess it was a number of years ago, I went into a Home Depot and they had one of these Bucket Boss tool rolls, and I just looked at it. I thought, why doesn't anybody do anything with tool rolls in the EDC survival side? Come to find out, there were a couple of other guys that were just getting into it as well. And I'll tell you, I mean, it's just a great way to stay organized. Everything's out there, and sometimes these smaller pouches, they make it really easy to be specific and keep certain items in there. Now this one is my fire kit, and I have a couple of fire kits. I like fire kits. I have them in each pack. Then I have an EDC pouch that's more of items that I use on a regular basis or can kind of lead over into a survival situation. It's not a full kit, but it's got a lot of cool stuff in it. And I have packed this one on purpose as much as I could put in here. So, you know, it's full. But typically, if I had something like this, I'd probably tone it down just a little bit because you don't have to pack everything you've got in one pack. And so this is just a really cool deal. So we're going to take a look at it. And if you're interested in the tool roll, you can go to Roaring Fire Gear. Also, there's a lot of Exotac stuff in here, and they give a 20% discount using Sootch 20. And just helps out with the channel. But let's check it out. All right, guys, here it is. Feels like a football. I love it. I'm not going to throw it, but even if I did, I think it'd protect it. I like the strap. Just kind of solidifies. Even with this thing packed out, I mean, we still have a little bit left over, and I like that. Now, I'll tell you, I bought a wax canvas tool roll just a couple of months ago. I just love the way it looked, and I ended up spending about $89 on it. So, you know, I was really excited when these guys came out with this. I think this runs like $39, and that's on Roaring Fire Gear. But let's look at some of the stuff that's in here because that's really what we want to do. Again, guys, getting organized is huge. And I'm going to also throw in some photos here in just a little bit of some of the bags that I have with different gear in it. Now, this just opens up. We'll start with this one first. So what's really cool is that it has a number of different styles with the pouches. Now, there's no pouch out there, there's no backpack out there that's going to fit you specifically because there's different sizes, people carry different things. And so that's one thing that I just find, and I have to adapt. And again, you don't have to pack this thing completely full, but it makes it nice if you can, especially get a lot of gear. So up here at the front, we got these mesh nets. So I like that because I've got all my stuff in here. I keep some Band-Aids. If you do enough knife reviews like I do, Band-Aids are something that you need. I keep a knife sharpener, and of course, always want to have something to where if I need to top my knife off, I can. A compass. I like to have compasses, but this is just what I'm putting in this pouch. Now here, I have a whistle, and a little titanium whistle, but these are great, and a little string on it. So just some basic items. These are more toward the survival side, but the Band-Aids definitely would be an EDC item. This flap also protects, and that's something you want. I like to have a flap like this. I do have some tool rolls that don't have it, and it's fine, but I like to have that protective flap. So now here, turn this around. You've got a lot of elastic loops right here, and that's really great for fitting different type items. I can fit this little nut driver set down in here that's really thin, or I can take this flashlight, this little arc feld, I love these. It'll fit in different items. Here is a small little multi-tool, and it's one of the Juice S2s. And then this is a rip spool. This is one of the coolest things, guys. It's a repair kit. It's got duct tape around it. Inside it has a needle which is protected. You can see how much duct tape's in there. And then here we have Kevlar thread. So a really cool setup. And I really like these. The only problem is they're usually out of stock because they're so popular. And so again, this is pretty thick, and yet it kind of slides down in there. This is something that it's a marine spike. This is something that's for serious work, but I just like these. I have a couple of different ones. And flashlight, I know I've kind of got a redundancy of flashlights, but that's just the way it is. Also a tactical pen, and I always keep Sharpies in all my packs. Sharpies, you can do so much with them, and if you really need to mark something, you can, especially your own gear. Then when we go to the back, it's not elastic, it's more the canvas, but it has a little bit of a larger pouch, and so there's 4 of them. Here I have one of the Gerber drives. This is cool, and that's what goes with my nut driver set. So I really like having this larger kind of set. The big pliers, and then of course all the tools that go with it. And the one thing about a multi-tool is that it's a jack of all trades, master of none, but you've got a lot of options. And so it gives you some capability. And I don't have to talk about the merits of a multi-tool, but I like them. Okay, also a knife, and it's good to have a good solid knife in your pack anyway. Let's see what I got down here. I got something stuffed. Oh, this is a lighter. Love to have fire starting. Fire starting to me is a very important thing that I just like to have. And then this is a pretty cool system. This is one of the Thyrums. It's one of their battery holders. And this has a number of CR123s in here. So if I need to charge a battery or have batteries for whatever reason, and it protects them, it seals them. These are pretty cool. I've got a couple of them. And you can see how thick this is. I mean, this is big and thick. It's got this piece. It can actually attach to MOLLE, but it fits in here, and it really gives it a lot of room. I wouldn't necessarily be carrying this. I just wanted to show it because it was thicker, and I put it in there later. But there's a lot of different gear, and it just gets you organized. You can see, you lay it out here, you know where everything is, and it's not like you're digging through something. Now there is a small pouch here on the side. It's got a YKK zipper. I have a bandana, which I like to keep those handy. There's a bazillion uses. Paracord, zip ties, and I have a small charger. And this is my Olight charger for my flashlight, and a pair of nail clippers. Guys, I don't know about you, but whenever I need nail clippers, I can never find them. Again, you can set this up however you want to, and if you have some ideas, see, it just kind of flows, and that's one of the main reasons I wanted to show you. Not necessarily for you to set it up the way I have it, but just gives you a lot of options. And again, this thing, I mean, it packs up really well. And so you can take it now, obviously if you did it less, it wouldn't be as much, wouldn't be as tight. But even so, I can pack this in, attach it. I like that metal buckle. There we go. Got it. But guys, it is a lot of gear. Honestly, again, I wouldn't be carrying this much in this pouch. I would kind of trim it down to make it more usable, which goes to our next one. I mean, here, this is just that right size. I like it. Again, it has that kind of a round shape to it. It just feels good in your hand. Same thing. But really what I'm really wanting to show and really kind of help you guys out is to say, hey, tool rolls are very versatile. There's a lot of things you can do with them. Here I have matches. These are lifeboat matches. I have some, now this is my fire kit, so I have some pretty definite fire related stuff. This is impregnated wood, great for tinder. Guys, you need tinder. Don't go without tinder. Then I have one of the blast matches. This can be lit with one hand if you injure yourself. The Air Force uses these. Or at least that's what I'm told. And then we have some Vaseline and cotton balls. This is big. I love Vaseline and cotton balls. It's cheap, easy, and it lights like, I mean, nobody's business. And then here we got a lot of different fire tools. Now again, I like redundancy. I like to have a lot of different options, and you can see that. But one thing I do have, I have a couple of pins in here just to have them. I do have a light, and this is one of the O-Light, and it's a S3 baton. American flag limited edition. But in here, I mean, it's just all these different tools. We've got a nano striker here from Exotac. We've got another striker. Yes, it's redundant. I have a match, one of the Exotac, and this is for butane, and it's one of the X match. Let's see, it's the Titan Light. And I love their work. I mean, these things are made all in the USA, and this is an aluminum piece, and of course you can fill it here at the back. And this seals up pretty good because I filled this up about 3 weeks ago, and it's still having a flame. Of course, the old magnesium block with the striker. And what I like is you got your rod here to strike, and then you have magnesium to help you with your tinder. And so that's also a huge plus. One thing that's kind of weird, I found this in a pack sometime. And this is actually something that you telescope out and you blow in the end, and it will give you air to blow into a fire. And so this is just one of those tools. It's just a little bit different, and I like it, so I put it in my pack. Here is one of the fire rods. This is the XL. This thing is massive. I love it. I mean, you can really get a lot of spark. It has duct tape around it. What I really like about these is I keep tinder tabs in here. So I've got tinder, got duct tape, and I got this huge ferrocerium rod. And so this is cool. And then I have one of the smaller ones. And really I put that in just because I had one available. But same thing, it also has the tinder tab. It just has one. But these ferro rods will actually come off and you can get refills. And so you have this really nice handle that's just nice. I love Exotac stuff, and you'll see that. And you know, Exotac does put up an affiliate for us, and we talk about Exotac, but honestly, I've been buying Exotac for years, way before I had any dealings with them. Here is a, this is just one of those jet kind of lighters. And this one, yeah, it's got it in there. Now, so most of the time these work pretty good. That's one thing too I want to just kind of mention, which we've done this before. I've talked about pack maintenance, and sometimes you'll pull something out. You need to keep track of your stuff to make sure that it's working properly. So don't just pack it away and leave it, or something like that will happen. And then we have some other tinder tabs. I'm big on the redundancy of fire. I like to have extras. And then we have a Bic lighter in one of the fire sleeves. And checking it out, there it goes. But this is great, and it keeps it sealed, and you can actually, I think they have this thing backwards, but you can take this and put it over this to keep it from the fuel coming out with this being pressed down. And it has a little lanyard on the back. You can hook it to something if you want. And then here is one of the fire sticks. We've done some videos on these fire starters. I'm a fire bug, guys. I love it, but this is waterproof fire. This will actually burn on top of the water. We did it where it floated down the creek. About burnt the freaking woods down. But a lot of cool fire stuff, guys. If you're going to build a fire kit, just go ahead and add some extra stuff in there, because if you're carrying just a Bic lighter, and I'm going to tell you from a lot of experience, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they sit in the pack and these get corroded and they won't even light. They won't even strike. So just make sure you do that. All right, here again, the pouch, got some different things. Waterproof matches. I've got a 4-hour candle. Got some lip balm, and you might say, why in the world do you have lip balm? This is flammable, but it also keeps your lips from getting chapped. Dual uses. And just have a little small flashlight in here in case I need something. And again, I'm redundant on light. You can see I've got a couple of lights in here. I keep a light as an EDC light all the time, and a knife. So number of different items. And again, of course, you can see how much gear is in here, but when we close it up, I mean, it's solid. And we probably will not have as much trouble getting this one because it's not as tight. But there we go. Pulls right through. It's solid. It's not going anywhere. This locks down. I love it. I just love it. And I love this wax on here. And this material is super strong, Box X stitching, all that kind of stuff. So great tool roll. Now, guys, I'm telling you, I have a bunch of tool rolls. These are not the only ones. And I use them for different reasons. There's different type tool rolls out there. One that I have is called the Pack Mule. It's huge. I mean, it's big. It has 2 sides to it. There's just a lot of capability with that tool roll. And because there are times where I need more stuff, this may not be enough. I may need to get a lot of gear in there, and especially something I'm keeping in my car for repairs. You know, it just really works well. It works great with tools. It works great with EDC items, survival items, just necessary stuff. And I like to put it in there. Gives me a lot of room. Also, there are some smaller tool rolls that they do at Roaring Fire and others like this one, but they're smaller ones. I love to put collections. Knife collections are one of the big things. I mean, there's so many different type collections. Again, multi-tools, flashlights, guys being preppers. You know, the old saying is 2 is 1, 1 is none. Well, 10 is 5. And so, you know, I like to have multiples. And a lot of that has to do because I'm just a reviewer. I mean, let's be honest. But I still, and I know a lot of you guys, you buy EDC stuff, you like to use different things. And this just lays it out where you can see it. If you're working on your car, I mean, again, this is a tool roll. So you can put standard tools in here, bring them out. It's really easy to get to stuff. It's just laid out. I've got toolboxes and I'm digging around and I'm trying to look for stuff with the tool rolls. They just lay out. Yeah, there's still a place for toolboxes for sure. And I've got toolboxes. But for things that I'm going to be on the move, just to make things more versatile makes life a lot easier. And that's really what I think is important to, especially as a prepper, because you've got a lot of stuff. Get it organized and get it organized right. And I think, you know, you'll just feel better about it. Now, if you're interested in these, they are at roaringfiregear.com. And again, I think they're 39 bucks. So they're a very reasonable price. And there are times where they do have some sales. And I'm a good friend of the guys over at Roaring Fire. In fact, my buddy Rodney from NC Hill Channel, he works for them. So I just like to show their stuff off, and I get really excited. And again, I was part of the brainchild behind some of this, especially the wax pattern and this look. I love the look. And so check it out. Also, Exotac, you do get a 20% discount using Sootch 20 with the link down below. So guys, again, the gear just keeps coming. You want to do certain things, you think about stuff, and before long, you feel like, you know, you're one of American hoarders or something. And so get organized, get yourself in good shape, because searching through boxes and packs and backpacks for specific gear can be a real chore. And this gets everything right there where you need it. And then when you just roll it out, you see everything that's just right in front of you. So I think tool rolls, again, they're one of my favorites. I actually helped design this particular pack, and we really appreciate the guys over at Roaring Fire for sending them. I have a couple of the prototypes, and I'm using those just like I'm using these. Check out Roaring Fire gear. Check out Exotac, 20% off using Sootch 20 with the link down below in the description. It is an affiliate link, and it does help with things that we do around here at the Sootch channel and the Sensible Prepper channel. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. going to go through a couple of these pouches. I think it's going to be kind of cool just to see some of the things that are in here. This is, now there is a, all right, I got to get this video done. This is just one of those jet kind of lighters. And this one